One of the biggest concerns I've been reading online this year is the lack of pollinators in Michigan. Our whole yard was full of dandelions, and I had bumblebees, honeybees, various pollinating flies everywhere. You couldn't even walk. I cut my grass as little as possible because I want to give these honeybees something to feed on. My yard is naturally about 90% white clover as far as the eye can see. When this first came in, I had pollinators everywhere. But now, there's a lot less. They're still around, but not as many as before. Everybody wants an award-winning lawn that's just pure green grass everywhere, but that's the exact opposite of what I do. Even when I cut this, I'll leave strips of clover in there, hoping that these bees stick around, because if they stick around, they could help me out in my garden, and we need them in our gardens. When you get those big flowers forming on your plants and you get all excited because you know fruits are about to set and then they just fall off, it means that they are not getting pollinated. In my opinion, the drought we've had here has something to do with it because these flowers are starting to dry up out here and they're not getting the nectar that these honeybees need. I haven't seen them at work in the garden, but I've been having a pretty good harvest this year despite the lack of pollinators. If you don't have the pollinators hanging around, you have to manually fertilize your flowers. So I'm going to talk about tomato plants because I got a lot of flowers forming on my tomatoes and I've been hand pollinating these, and so far I've been having really good success. I want to show you what the flowers look like after they have been pollinated, and I did want to show you what they look like if they have not been pollinated, but I can't find any. They've all taken off. There's various methods to do this, from Q-tips, paintbrushes, electric toothbrushes, but all I've been using is my finger. This is really easy, and I'm going to show you how to do it. It's not going to take up a lot of your time, and you'll be on your way to starting to get tomatoes on your plants, finally. To improvise on my trellising, because my tomato plants are just getting so big and bushy and starting to fall all over the place, especially with that storm we had last night. Those storms really pump nitrogen into the soil, and usually you can see by the next morning they start taking off. I did a video a couple weeks ago about pruning your tomato plants, and we talked about single stemming these indeterminate tomatoes versus what I did, where I have 2 to 3, sometimes even 4 stems coming up, because we meet in the middle of having a big harvest and a lot of tomatoes that grow big. So go back and check that video out. I think we're gonna have decent results this year from that, judging by how everything's doing right now. And it's gonna get real neat when these start branching up to the sides and straight up vertical. I got a decent cluster of flowers on this plant that I'll show you. See that? This one right now is open and ready to get pollinated. Some of these other flowers should be open in the next couple days or so, and we're going to use this same technique on them. Now sometimes you can get lucky and the wind will blow your plants around and you'll get pollen falling from inside of this flower to here where it'll fertilize it, and that's how your tomato is going to form. Without the pollinators coming around, all I've been doing was taking my finger and just do a quick vibration on the flower. That fast vibration on the flower is causing the pollen to fall out and fertilize it. Along with that, I take my finger inside here and do the same thing very gently. So if any pollen does fall on my finger, it will fertilize this flower. Likewise, you can take a paintbrush, go inside, get some of the pollen, move it around the inside. Same with a Q-tip. And then with the electric toothbrush, you're gonna mimic what I'm doing with my finger here. It'll be a lot faster, but this has been working great. It's just a little shake. So when I see the guys start to open up, like this one here, just give it a little vibration on it. A little finger flick for good luck. We're mimicking a honeybee right now. I can walk through my garden and do all 6 of these tomato plants in under 1 minute. That's how easy this method is. Got this little guy back here. Can tell it has not been fertilized yet because the stem is really thin on it. Same here with this one. Notice how thin that stem is to the flower. In a couple days, you're gonna wondering if your efforts paid off. So you'll know by looking at the flowers. You see how thick this stem got by the flower? That means that this flower has been successfully fertilized and it stays green. If it stays small and turns yellow, it will eventually fall off. It means it was not fertilized. That's what's happening to a lot of people right now. But you look at these two, nice thick green stem leading to where the flower once was. And if we look inside here, we got a little tomato forming in there. Same with this guy. I got a bunch of these coming in, so this method has been working. It's that easy. Take a minute or so each day and go around and fertilize your tomato flowers. I really enjoy it when my tips help people out, so give this a shot, and if it works for you, let me know in the comments. The season's really getting into full swing now here, so I'll have a lot of exciting videos to show you throughout the summer. So as always, thanks for watching.